Hey everyone, welcome to another deep dive with us.
Yeah, always exciting to jump into a new topic.
Right, so today we're looking at proverbs and idioms.
Okay,
We've got some great research papers from, looks like a couple of different universities to help guide us.
sounds good.
And I think it'll be really interesting to kind of unpack the history and the
Mhm.
psychology behind some of these common sayings.
I think what's so interesting is that they really are kind of universal.
Yeah.
Like they're passed down through generations and they capture like
Mm-hmm.
these universal truths and experiences,
Oh, so,
almost like shortcuts
yeah.
to very complex ideas.
Yeah, and they add so much
Mhm.
color to our language.
Exactly.
So before we jump in,
Okay,
let's define our terms here.
okay.
Proverbs,
Mhm.
little nuggets of wisdom.
Yeah,
Think like actions speak louder than words.
yep.
They offer advice or highlight some kind of truth.
Mm-hmm.
Idioms, on the other hand, paint more of a picture.
Okay,
They're not meant to be taken literally.
right.
Like if you spill the beans, you're not
Right.
actually,
Yeah,
spilling beans, right?
it's all about the secret.
Exactly.
And I think that's one of the really interesting things about idioms
Yeah.
is that they often rely on this shared
Yeah.
cultural understanding.
Mm.
Like, imagine trying to explain kick the bucket
Oh, right.
to someone who's never heard that before.
Yeah.
It would get really complicated.
That's so true. It really highlights
Yeah.
how much culture is packed into these sayings.
Exactly.
All right, so let's start with a proverb
Okay.
that I find particularly intriguing.
Right.
A rolling stone gathers no moss.
Oh, interesting one.
Right. It seems to suggest that a life of constant motion and
Right.
change is best.
Okay.
But is that always the case?
Well, that's what's so interesting about it.
Mm-hmm.
Because you see, some people interpret this proverb as a celebration
Right.
of adaptability
Right.
and a kind of rejection of stagnation.
Yeah.
But others see it as a critique
Ah,
of those who kind of flit from one thing to another,
right.
never really establishing any roots.
Interesting.
So it really depends on your perspective.
I like that. So a proverb can be like a springboard
Yeah.
for debate
Mm-hmm.
and self-reflection. It's not just
Yeah.
about accepting the wisdom at face value,
Right.
but engaging with it,
Yeah.
questioning it even.
I love that.
Yeah.
I think proverbs can also act as mirrors,
Mm-hmm.
reflecting our own values and biases.
Oh, interesting.
So, for example,
Yeah.
early to bed, early to rise makes a man healthy, wealthy, and wise.
Okay.
So that one reflects a certain work ethic, right?
Right.
And a belief that success is tied to productivity.
Mm-hmm.
But is that universally true?
That's a good point.
Yeah.
I mean, it might resonate with someone who thrives on routine and structure.
Exactly.
But what about someone who's like a night owl,
Yeah.
They're more creative late at night.
Yeah.
Does that mean they're destined for, like, poverty?
Exactly.
I doubt it.
These sayings are insightful, but
Yeah.
they should be viewed through,
Mm-hmm.
I think, a critical lens
Okay.
because they really do represent
Ah.
a snapshot
Mm-hmm.
of the values and beliefs
Right.
of a particular time
Okay.
and culture.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
All right. So let's switch gears a little bit
Okay?
and dive into some idioms.
All right.
One that I always find myself chuckling at is bite the bullet.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, who decided that facing a challenge was like biting down on lead?
I know. It's so vivid.
I
Almost painful.
Yeah.
But I think it really speaks to that idea
Yeah.
of confronting a challenge head on
Yeah.
with grit and determination.
Mm-hmm.
You have to admit it is a lot more memorable
Yeah.
than just saying, like, be brave.
Totally. It's like they're designed to stick in your brain,
Yeah.
even if they sound a little absurd.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's what makes them so effective.
Yeah.
Humor,
Mhm.
exaggeration.
Yeah.
To convey these complex emotions and experiences
Okay.
that are really engaging and memorable.
Speaking of memorable,
Yeah.
have you ever heard the expression, let the cat out of the bag?
Oh, yeah.
It just conjures up this image
Yeah.
of like this mischievous cat escaping,
Right.
causing chaos.
Yeah.
But like, what's the connection to revealing a secret?
Well, the origins of that one are a little bit murky,
Okay.
but some people think
Mm-hmm.
that it relates to this deceitful practice
Okay.
of selling a piglet in a bag,
Oh, wow.
but then a cat escapes instead.
Oh.
So the idea is that the secret, like the cat, is out in the open,
Yeah.
impossible to recapture.
Wow. I never knew that.
Yeah.
It's amazing how these simple phrases
Mm.
have these rich histories
Right.
and hidden layers of meaning.
It really is.
Okay, one last idiom before we move on.
Oh, right.
Once in a blue moon.
Oh, yeah.
Does this one have anything to do with the actual blue moon?
Well, it evokes that image, right,
Right.
of this rare celestial event.
Yeah.
But it's really about the metaphorical rarity.
Okay.
Like, how often do we actually see a blue moon?
Yeah, that's true.
So the idiom is really about something infrequent.
Mm.
and exceptional.
Right.
Like saying something happens when pigs fly.
It's almost poetic to
It's a,
use these images and comparisons
mm,
to express something that's abstract.
exactly, and that's why they're so enduring.
Yeah.
They tap into our imagination
Mm-hmm.
and create these memorable associations
Right.
that help us understand and remember
Okay.
these complex concepts.
Cool.
Yeah.
Welcome back to our exploration of proverbs and idioms.
It's
Yeah.
always fun to unpack these little sayings.
Right. It's amazing how they can be insightful and entertaining at the same time.
I know. It's like there are these little puzzles
Yeah.
that unlock layers of meaning and cultural understanding.
Speaking of puzzles,
Yeah.
I've always been intrigued by the proverb, time and tide, wait for no man.
Oh, that's a good one.
It feels like a warning,
Yeah,
like a reminder that we're all subject to the flow of time.
absolutely. It's a powerful statement about seizing the moment.
Right.
Time is precious,
Mm-hmm.
shouldn't be wasted.
It makes me think of that other saying, there's no time like the present.
Oh, yeah,
They both seem to encourage us to, take action, make the
exactly.
most of the opportunities that come our way.
Precisely. They challenge us to be proactive,
Right?
not let these valuable moments slip away.
Okay, so we've talked about proverbs that encourage action, but
Yeah.
what about those that offer more like cautionary advice?
Okay.
One that comes to mind is look before you leap.
Oh, yeah, that's a classic.
Right.
Advocating for careful consideration
Mm,
before making a decision,
yeah,
weigh the potential consequences.
right.
Avoid acting impulsively.
It makes me think of measure twice, cut once.
Oh, yeah, I like that one.
Right.
Both emphasize the importance of planning
Mm-hmm.
and forethought.
Yeah, especially when the stakes are high.
Exactly. Rushing into things can lead to mistakes.
Oh, for sure, and regrets.
Yeah.
That reminds me of another proverb.
Okay.
It's easy to be wise after the event.
Oh, yeah, the hindsight's 20/20 thing.
Exactly.
But that proverb isn't about dwelling on past mistakes.
Okay.
It's more about learning from our experiences,
Right.
both the successes and the failures,
Yeah.
and using those experiences to make better decisions.
So turning regrets into valuable lessons.
Exactly.
Okay, that's a much more empowering way to look at it.
I think so.
Okay, let's get back to idioms.
Okay.
I recently heard someone say kick the bucket,
Oh, yeah.
and I got to admit I was a little taken aback.
It's definitely one of those idioms that can raise eyebrows.
Yeah.
It's a pretty blunt and informal way of saying someone has died.
Yeah, and the origins are a bit morbid.
It's believed to be related to suicide by hanging,
Oh, wow.
where the person would kick away the bucket they were standing on.
Wow, that's a little darker than I expected.
Language is full of surprises.
That's for sure.
It's constantly evolving.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes those evolutions take unexpected turns.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to something a little lighter.
Okay?
Have you ever heard the expression to have a chip on one shoulder?
Oh, yeah. All the time.
It describes someone who seems like easily offended.
Yeah, like they're carrying a grudge.
Yeah.
Or looking for a fight.
Right, like they're carrying around this imaginary chip,
Exactly.
daring someone to knock it off
Mm-hmm.
and provoke a reaction.
It's a great way to describe that simmering resentment
Yeah.
or defensiveness.
Okay, and speaking of vivid imagery,
Yeah.
there's the classic idiom to rain cats and dogs.
Oh, yeah.
What a bizarre image.
It is.
But it perfectly captures the intensity of a downpour.
I know. It's like the sky is unleashing a torrent of furry creatures.
Right. Where on earth did that expression come from?
Well, the origins are a bit of a mystery.
Okay.
But there are some fascinating theories.
Oh.
One suggests it originated from a time when heavy rains would wash stray animals
Oh, wow.
out of their hiding places,
Okay.
making it seem like they were raining down from the sky.
That makes sense. It's
Yeah.
like those idioms were born out of observation
Hmm.
and a desire to capture those experiences with vivid language.
And sometimes those observations were tinged with a bit of humor,
Oh, yeah.
like the idiom to spill the beans.
Oh, yeah.
It's such a casual way to describe something as serious as revealing a secret.
I always picture someone clumsily knocking over a pot of beans.
Right.
And there they are.
Scattered across the floor.
Yeah, for everyone to see.
It's similar to let the cat out of the bag,
Right.
but maybe a bit less deliberate.
Yeah, I think spill the beans implies more of an accidental revelation.
Yeah,
Whereas let the cat out of the bag suggests something more purposeful.
right, like betrayal or gossip.
It's fascinating how these little nuances can change the meaning.
Absolutely, and that's why it's so rewarding to delve deeper. They're not just about the words themselves, but
Right.
about the cultural context,
Mm-hmm.
the history,
Yeah.
and the human experiences they represent.
Okay, before we wrap up this part, I have to ask about a proverb that I think often sparks debate.
Okay.
When the cat's away, the mice will play.
Oh, yeah.
Is it just about mischief in the absence of authority?
Well, I think it speaks to a fundamental aspect of human nature.
Okay.
It suggests that even those who generally follow the rules
Mm-hmm.
might be tempted to bend or break them
Right.
when there's no one watching.
So it's not necessarily a negative thing.
It depends
Or-
on the context
Right.
and the motivations of the mice involved.
So they could just be having harmless fun.
Right, or they could be engaging in destructive behavior.
It really makes you think about power dynamics
Absolutely.
and the consequences of both freedom and restriction.
That's a great way to put it.
All right, welcome back to the final part of our deep dive into the world of proverbs and idioms.
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it?
What's that?
Just how these phrases
Yeah.
can be so short,
Mm-hmm.
but pack so much meaning
Right.
and history.
They really are like these concentrated drops of wisdom.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's jump right in with a proverb.
Okay.
That always makes me think about self-awareness.
Right.
Those who live in glass houses should not throw stones.
Yes, a classic
Yeah.
cautionary tale about hypocrisy.
Mhm.
Reminds us to be mindful of our own flaws before
Yeah.
criticizing others.
It's like that saying
yeah.
about taking the log out of your own eye first.
Exactly. A
Right.
call for humility and
It
self-reflection.
makes you wonder if those who are quick to criticize are maybe projecting their own insecurities.
That's a really interesting perspective.
Yeah.
Maybe those who feel most vulnerable are the ones most likely to lash out.
Something to think about.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's shift gears a little
Okay.
to idioms.
All right.
Have you ever had to, like, break the ice in a social situation?
Oh, gosh. All the time.
Right. It's like,
Especially like meeting new people.
yes.
Those moments of awkward silence.
It's like this social dance. You're
Yeah.
trying to find the rhythm, the
Mhm.
connection.
And breaking the ice is that first step onto the dance floor.
Exact.
Could be a simple question,
Mm-hmm.
a shared observation,
Right.
maybe even a well-timed joke.
It's all about creating a little spark.
Yeah.
Easing the tension.
It reminds us
Mm-hmm.
that we all crave connection.
Yeah.
And those initial interactions could really set the tone for the
Right.
whole relationship.
Absolutely. Okay, speaking of relationships, have you ever heard the idiom to get cold feet?
Oh, gosh, yes.
Oh, tell me about it.
That John wave of doubt
Ugh.
or anxiety.
Usually before something big,
Yeah.
like a decision or an event.
It's like all the excitement and anticipation
Yeah.
suddenly replaced by fear
It does.
and uncertainty.
Like you're about to jump into icy water.
Yeah.
And you're like, wait a minute, do
Yeah.
I really want to do this?
It's a natural human response
That's true.
to change and uncertainty.
It makes you wonder, though, are cold feet always a bad thing?
That's a good question.
Or could they be a warning sign?
Yeah.
A signal to, like, reassess the situation?
Maybe those moments of doubt
Yeah.
are actually opportunities
Yeah.
for deeper reflection.
So it's about finding the courage to move forward,
Mhm.
even when you're scared.
Sometimes it might be wiser to change course.
Right. Life's a journey,
Okay.
not a destination.
Well said.
Okay, speaking of journeys,
Yeah.
there's that proverb, opportunity seldom knocks twice.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Reminds me to seize the moment,
Absolutely.
not let chances slip away.
It suggests that opportunities are precious
Mm-hmm.
and fleeting.
It's like that saying, carpe diem.
Yes.
Seize the day.
Both encourage us to be proactive,
Right.
make the most of the present moment,
Step outside our comfort zones.
and
Yeah.
take risks.
Trust that sometimes the greatest rewards come from embracing the unknown.
Makes you think about all those missed opportunities.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
The what-if moments.
Exactly. But it's also about recognizing that
Yeah.
new opportunities are always coming up.
That's true.
It's never too late to start a new chapter.
Okay.
All right, one last idiom. All right, before we wrap up, let's do it.
Go with the flow.
Oh, I love that one.
What comes to mind when you hear that?
Adaptability,
Okay.
flexibility,
Hmm.
a willingness to embrace change,
Yeah.
surrendering to the natural course of events.
Right. Not resisting,
Yeah.
not trying to control everything.
It's like saying don't sweat the small stuff.
Exactly.
Recognizing that sometimes the best approach
Yeah.
is to just relax
Mm-hmm.
and ride the waves.
Find peace amidst the chaos.
Absolutely.
It's a good reminder that we don't always have to have the answers
Yeah.
or be in control.
Sometimes the most fulfilling experiences
Yeah.
come from letting go and trusting the journey.
So well said. And with that, we've come to the end of our deep dive.
Into the world of proverbs and idioms.
It's been so fun to explore these little nuggets of wisdom, humor,
Cultural insights.
and we hope you've enjoyed it too.
I hope so.
And we encourage you to keep listening,
Can't keep learning.
keep discovering the magic of language.
Absolutely.
Because whether you're biting the bullet
Or breaking the
or
ice.
simply going with the flow,
Yeah,
these sayings really do have the power to enrich our communication,
they do.
deepen our understanding of the world, and
Mhm.
remind us of those shared human experiences that connect us all.
Beautifully said.